Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this year's edition of the Invest in Africa Summit 2026, the virtual edition, 1 year after, from predictions to performance. So I'm super excited to be with you all. My UK family, I love you guys. You guys have been amazing. You've taken care of us. You've invested in our business. So we made a spectacular decision in deciding that if we're going to start the Invest in Africa Summit again, we're just going to start from the UK. And I'm super excited to be joining each and every one of you on this platform. So what has changed? What has happened to Nigeria's real estate space? Some months ago, barely 13, 14 months ago, we were in the UK at the Invest in Africa Summit that we held at the Royal Lancaster in Kensington in London, central London, where we took you guys on a journey of the possibilities of what could happen in the Nigerian real estate space. We had reminded each and every one of you of the possibilities that could happen if one or two infrastructural promises that the government had promised Nigerians, if they come into bearing, what could happen to investment decisions, investments that have been made already, and the opportunities it portend for the real estate space in Nigeria. And today, I say to each and every one of us, 1 year after, what has changed? When we came to the Invest in Africa Summit in the UK, we came with different products. But before I go into those products that we came in with, I want us to look back and say to each and every one of us that it's a great privilege to be in this room to discuss the future of Africa's real estate, the future of Nigeria's real estate, and the future opportunities that will come out of this conversation. You see, it's a pleasure for me to welcome you all to this virtual edition. Last year, we took the Invest in Africa Summit conversation across 8 cities in the UK, USA, and Canada. We met investors, professionals, business owners, members of the diaspora, all who had one major question. And that question was, is now the right time to invest back home? Is my investment going to be safe if I take my hard-earned pounds or dollars back home? What will happen when the developer is unable to develop the units that I've paid for? And today, 1 year later, I want us to reflect on those questions. How many of them have been answered? What happened to the investment that people have made? That question has even become more important. Some people made investment decisions. Some choose to wait, while others choose to watch and be pessimistic. Some said they would rather watch the market for now. But today, some are here today because finally they think they are ready to make that decision, or rather, they understand what opportunity really looks like. That is why this year's team is very intentional. 1 year after, from predictions to performance, what has changed? What did the investors learn? What performed and is still performing? What opportunities are still available? How can today's investors make better, smarter, and more confident decisions? Those are the conversations that I bring to you guys with the Invest in Africa Summit 2026. A few months back, we decided to come on the journey of the Invest in Africa UK, and we came with diverse products, stemming from the products at the next Lekki Foreshore, the products directly opposite the Charterhouse School, which was the Citadel Oasis, the Citadel 1.0 Phase B, amongst other products. And so I say we will not be doing another Invest in Africa Summit without having to look back to say what has happened, what has changed. So last year, due to the Invest in Africa Summit, we sold a total of 745 houses, majority of them on payment plan. And 1 year after, the questions many people have been waiting to answer is, how many of those houses have been delivered? How many of those properties has been handed over to their subscribers? And how many of those properties has the developer been unable to deliver? We came on the Invest in Africa Summit with 10 Series A developers, people we consider that we can vouch for their credibility. And so a lot of people followed on that journey, from Havens Homes to Property Radar to Kirkwood Homes to Ace Properties to even Imperial Mortgage, our mortgage partners who came on that journey with us. So looking back, what has changed? The Nigerian government introduced MREF just at the start of the Invest in Africa Summit. So when we went on the Invest in Africa Summit, one of the major things that we were sharing to people was the opportunity of MREF, when very few people knew about the MREF program. And so we took the MREF program and we marketed it to a lot of diaspora people. And when I look back, I say to Nigerians in diaspora watching this, we have incredibly some of the most intelligent Nigerians in the diaspora. When we went on the journey of offering the MREF opportunity, a lot of Nigerians in Nigeria never believed in the MREF opportunity. And so the first set of people that keyed into the MREF opportunity were actually Nigerians in diaspora. And I'm here to tell you guys today that within the year under review, we had 127 MREF financing with different MREF partners. And out of that 127, the shocking news is that majority, let me state in numbers, 98 of those who assessed MREF for our properties, out of the 127, are actually Nigerians in the diaspora. Is that not shocking? So while the government in Nigeria was introducing MREF at 9.75%, a lot of Nigerians in Nigeria never saw the value in that opportunity. So the initial funding dried up in December with most of the primary mortgage institutions. And so there was practically less or no fund for others to get to benefit. But at the end of the day, some of the Nigerians within Nigeria started keying into the MREF opportunity. When I reflect and I look back, what would I say to myself? I'll say that a lot of Nigerians residing in Nigeria, they are a bit laggard when they see opportunities. And so many of our diaspora investors, I consider them the eagle-eyed diaspora investors who saw some of those opportunities and took those opportunities. Some of the major diaspora investors' fears that people had and they are laid during the summit were the following: can the developer be trusted? What about flooding in Nigeria? Will the estates be delivered? What if I want mortgage support? What about documentation? What are the right documentation do I need to ask? What if I am not in Nigeria when the properties are not being delivered? Who can guide me through this process? And so each of those questions were the reasons why A lot of many people never believed in investing back home in Nigeria. And sincerely speaking, many of those fears are valid. And that is why credibility is critical, and documentation and planning are at the heart of what every developer needs to present before they can seek diaspora investment from non-resident Nigerians. Now, in clear numbers, what has changed from the point when we went on the journey of the Invest in Africa Summit? Let me, without wasting much of your time, just go straight to what happened. When we went on the Invest in Africa Summit, the Citadel Oasis had their 2-bedroom apartment going for 78 million naira with solar, and without solar was 72 million naira. As at the time when we were going on the Invest in Africa Summit, a bag of cement was going for 7,500 naira. And strangely as it may be, today a bag of cement in Nigeria sits at about 12,000 naira. A 2-bedroom apartment at the Citadel Oasis without solar was going for 72 million naira. A 2-bedroom terrace with BQ was going for 104 million naira. And without solar, it was going for 95 million naira. While a 3-bedroom without solar was going for 99 million naira, and with solar was going for 108 million naira. The strangest part is, today, the 2-bedroom apartment without solar, with solar, is going for 114 million. And that is clearly nearly a 50% capital appreciation on what the value of that property is. That property has appreciated by nearly 36 million naira, from 78 million naira to 114 million naira. Now, a 3-bedroom terrace was going for, at that time, 108 million naira with solar. Today, a 3-bedroom terrace is going for 166 million naira at the Citadel Oasis. So the man who invested 108 million naira now has a product that's appreciated by 58 million naira. That's another nearly 55% capital appreciation on that product. Now, while on the Invest in Africa, we had a promo that we did for Nigerians then. We had a 7% knockoff on the price of those products. And so our capital loft that was being sold for 78 million naira was offered under the IAAS, Invest in Africa Summit offer, was offered at 73 million naira. That product today, the 3-bedroom terrace, is going for about 108 million naira. Sorry, the capital loft is going for about 120 million naira today, something that was on offer for 73 million naira. The capital terrace was sold at the Invest in Africa Summit offer for 65 million naira. Today, that capital terrace is going for 98 million naira. This is at the 1.0 phase B. The 1-bedroom the 2-bedroom apartment there was going for 58 million naira. Today, that same house is going for 110 million naira. While the 3-bedroom terrace that was sold for 93 million naira at the Invest in Africa Summit, today that same product is going for about 157 million naira. A lot has happened. The Citadel Oasis that we thought was going to take a very long time to be delivered, today we have delivered nearly 320 houses out of 388 units. We started our project about December 2024, And 18 months down the line, 75% of that estate has been delivered. And so what we have under construction, the remaining units should be delivered in another 3 months. We have done about 3 batches of allocation. The first 60 units of flats has been allocated. We have about 10 residents who have moved into that project. The Brom Heights 7 that was sold at the Invest in Africa Summit was sold for about 200 million naira. Today that product is going for 280 million naira. We can go on and on in terms of numbers, but what has changed in Nigeria within that same period? Within that same period, a lot of Nigerians felt that the currency exchange rate that was highly volatile was going to move higher, because at the Invest in Africa Summit, the naira to a dollar exchange rate was hovering between 1,680 to 1,730. Today, the naira to a dollar exchange rate is sitting at 1,400. So our naira has actually appreciated. The World Bank and other multinational institutions have said that the Nigerian economy has shown a very strong resilience, and the economy is bouncing back stronger. The policies that the government is doing is beginning to yield the desired results. The Lekki-Epe Express Road that was rehabilitated by the government of Lagos State is nearly 90% completed. So the journey time from Lekki Phase 1 to Idera, the hitherto would have taken you about 3 hours. Today takes you just about 30 minutes. The new Coastal Road has made it quite possible that from Eko Hotel, Victoria Island, to Citadel Oasis, where you have the new Charterhouse School, the journey time is now 12 minutes. So what it means is, if it used to take you a longer time to get to work while working in Victoria Island, you can actually live in Abromade or Gombo and get to enjoy faster journey time to get to work. Today, we see a lot of improvement in our economy. The green line that the Lagos State and the federal government talked about, the green line, I'm sure by the next few months, we'll begin to hear good news about the green line. When we went to the US, the Commissioner for Transport, Lagos State, told us about how much the state government is investing in their multimodal transport system, building great infrastructures to connect hitherto satellite towns to the city center, to reduce journey time, improve productivity, and enhance the quality of life that people live. Because you can imagine how it feels like to stay in the Lekki-Epe traffic for 6 hours when you close from work at 5 o'clock, and then you do the same journey to work in the morning. So I beat my chest to say that some of the people who live in Lagos today actually enjoy better quality of life, better sleep than those who live and work in the UK. Because I know people who do train rides of nearly an hour and a half just to get to work in central London. Now, the impact of the increase in the prices of houses creates also another opportunity. And that opportunity is where a lot of Nigerians in the diaspora are latching into. Just imagine that a property that was sold, a 2-bedroom that was sold for about 70 million naira, the rent on that 2-bedroom today is 7 million naira. A capital loft semi-detached that was sold for 68 million naira during the Invest in Africa Summit, the rent on that apartment in Idera is going for 5 million naira. So that means a man who invested 60 million naira in 12 years would have recouped his entire investment, even if rents were constant. So in simple numbers, that means that man has a 7.5%. He has an 8% yield, an 8.5% yield on his investment. I don't think there's any part of the world where you get such an incredible yield on property. Because as the demand begins to increase, those demands are driving the numbers. And so, while a lot of people sat on the fence asking themselves, do we invest in Nigeria? What is happening? Is the government going to be consistent in their policy? While a lot of people said, Netse had said, the Dangote refinery will never be allowed to work in Nigeria, that there's a cabal that controls the petroleum industry. They will frustrate him. The refinery will not work. What has happened? The refinery has taken off. The refinery has employed more people. The refinery is operating at full capacity. Today, the same refinery is being prepared for expansion less than 2 years into the operation of that refinery. So what does this portend for us? That means more housing will be required. I had the privilege of listening to my very big mentor and big brother, Professor Mustafa Chike Obi, the former MD of AMCON. And he said to me, he said in that podcast I was listening to, that the Eko Atlantic, if well managed and it takes off properly, that city can employ double the size of the refinery. And I had a conversation with my wife this afternoon. I said, just imagine if construction is moving at a remarkable pace at the Eko Atlantic. How many people, much employment will be created? Today, Nigeria is at a brink of a housing crisis. Despite the fact that the government is investing a lot of money in the Renewed Hope housing scheme. But the developers are beginning to reduce the number of units that they are doing, because it's more profitable for a developer to go and build in the city center where they don't need to build much units, where they need to reduce the number of people they employ and manage the project faster. So while those opportunities, while a lot of people see problem, a lot of people see crisis, some of our investors who are on this platform listening today have enjoyed the opportunity. I know an investor who invested in 10 units of the Capital Loft, and they bought it at 63 million naira. Today, that same investor is reselling some of those units at 98 million naira, less than 1 year. So the opportunities in Nigeria, what people failed to see some years ago, some of you guys who are here have seen it today. And like I always tell people, the kind of real estate we do in our company is data-driven real estate. So we don't build because people are building here, but because we build because we understand that if one or two things happen, a particular location becomes the next frontier. And so we go there and we wait. So today, I'm happy to announce to you guys that the Invest in Africa Summit opened my eyes to everything that the aspirants were facing. And what have our brothers and sisters in diaspora, what have they been looking for? They are looking for a credible developer who does not cut corners. They are looking for a mortgage bank that they can trust. They are looking for a commercial bank that they can trust. They are looking for a state that believes in ensuring that everybody has an equal opportunity to thrive and do business, whether you come from the north, east, or south. And Lagos State has created that opportunity. And that's why some of us have been here doing business. I want to also use your opportunity to remind people who are here that the Invest in Africa Summit 2025 would not have been a success if the Lagos State government did not give consent to more than 30 of their employees and top government functionaries to go with us on that Invest in Africa Summit. The Commissioner for Transport was there, the essay to the government on EGIS, on urban renewal, the approving agency, the Commissioner for Fiscal Planning, the Commissioner for Environment, the Commissioner for Tourism, the GM Bidding Control Agency, the GM LASPA, and different directors in different ministries. They went with us on that journey. And so their impact was felt. And so today, as we look back, what do I have to tell everybody who invested in us? Your investment has paid off. We have delivered some of those units, and in numbers, the Citadel 1.0 Phase B is completely delivered. The BH7 is 95% delivered. The entire infrastructure for power and water has been delivered completely. As we speak now, 7 clients have moved into the BH7 Block A. And I can guarantee you within the next 2 weeks, about 20 more will move in. The Citadel Oasis, we have delivered 320 units out of 388. The remaining 68 units, they are standing. The Kids Play area is fully functional now. The AstroTurf area fully functional. Power connection completed. Water connection completed. Those units have been delivered. And so I will give some of our viewers the opportunity to ask questions on this platform, so that we can before we do that, I would like us to cue some of the products that we have built, some of the estates. Oasis will go first. Can we cue Oasis? Good evening, everyone, once more. So we took this break just to get people to see what we have done over the past 1 year. A lot of questions have been dropped here, so we will try to answer some of those questions that people have dropped. I can see questions here. The MRIF facility has been a very good initiative by the federal government, but the liquidity seems to be reducing. Hopefully more funds can be allocated to it from the federal government. Hopefully we're going to have another session, and we'll have Mr. Ayo Olowokere, the president of Mortgage Bankers Association of Nigeria, speaking to us on that session. And I think some of the conversations will be addressed as regards MRIF. But most importantly, each and every one of us has come to appreciate that for the very first time, the federal government has listened. And for the very first time, single-digit mortgage has been provided by government. So I will always say kudos to the government of President BAT. Without the MRIF, maybe a lot of Nigerians will never have a roof over their head. A lot of Nigerians, because the MRIF may be. What would you be doing with 34% mortgage? It's highly impossible, you know. So the MRIF made it possible. Yes, Yusuf Kende wrote that amazing work we have been doing, and we have contributed immensely to the housing deficit of Lagos, that we should continue to do more. Somebody, Peace Chichi for Love, asked, sir, is there already made house to pay moving for sale? Members of my team are expected to hit you right away. There are ready-made houses that you can move into. We have houses at Capital Gardens. They are done. They are ready. You can pay and park in. We also have houses at What Have You Experienced? You can pay and park in. By the time I go into the offers that I will be giving you guys for the Invest in Africa offers, you see very beautiful and exciting offers that we have on ground for you. Daddy Oyoyo, I waited for over 6 months for MRIF funding after paying 60% equity, but was ultimately pushed to take a 17% loan instead of the 9.75 rate, while rising property prices increased my cost. I'm so sorry, my brother, on that. The MRIF funding, by December, a lot of it was actually not available. But what we have also done is to expand our reach of partners to see which partners now have available funding on MRIF that they can take and give to people. So hopefully, I will always say that you can migrate to the MRIF funding from the mortgage loan that you took. And I think ultimately it was better that you are taking that mortgage loan, because just imagine the sharp increase in property prices by about 60%. It wasn't good for anyone. So, can I key into a new project while I'm paying for an existing one? Absolutely yes. Please, you guys should get on the chat room. I expect people in the chat room. We have customers who are asking questions about properties that they can key into. Oh, Yusuf Kennedy is asking, when is our company planning to do properties on the mainland? Hopefully within the next few months we should do 1 or 2 properties on the mainland. So that is that on those questions. On these questions were on Zoom, on YouTube. So do we have questions on Zoom now? Let me see, what questions do we have on Zoom? How long does it take for one to get documents after payment is completed? Well, this question is dependent on the scheme that it is. For properties within the government scheme, it takes a little bit of more time, because the surveys are countersigned by the Surveyor General's office. But for a product like Den Heights, or products inside or BH7, or products within the Nest Lekki foreshore, we have devised a means of fast tracking that. So some of the survey plans for the BH7 projects, they are already ready, and customers can start getting those offers. It's also important to share with you guys that one of the biggest fear that a lot of people have had about investing in Nigeria is the insecurity situation. And I can tell you that the government is not sleeping on it. The government is working seriously hard to solve the insecurity problem in Nigeria. But you know what? I also want to share with you guys this. I don't know if we have that video on queue now, the video on Mexico. Do you have it on queue now? I'm going to play a short video. This video was shared by my very adorable sister, the Commissioner for Tourism, Lagos State, at the Invest in Africa Summit. And that video got me thinking. If I'm to ask anybody here, which country would you love to visit next? Everybody will say Mexico. But you know what? I want us to go to Mexico for once. Let us have a feel of what Mexico is about.
Mexico, a country known for its culture, breathtaking beaches, and vibrant cities. But behind the scenes, there are moments of turmoil, unrest. Headlines scream of conflict and chaos. Yet, each year, millions of tourists continue to flock to Mexico's paradise, unaware or undeterred by the stories of danger. Here in Cancun, it's an entirely different city. Crystal clear waters, world-class resorts, a destination far removed from the chaos. Travelers are focused on one thing, the experience, because for them, Cancun isn't about fear, it's about escape, adventure, and relaxation. And so it is with Lagos, Nigeria, a bustling city of culture, innovation, and beauty. Yes, like many countries, it faces its challenges, but what tourists don't see is the Lagos that's waiting to welcome them. Lagos is rich in history, alive with vibrant culture and framed by breathtaking landscapes, from the sunny beaches of Takwa Bay and Ilashe to the buzzing nightlife on Victoria Island and the treasures of the new J. Randall Yoruba Center for Arts and Culture. It's the destination you never knew was perfect for your next adventure. Like Cancun, we want you to focus on what truly matters: the experience, the adventure, the memories. Lagos is ready for you to explore, to discover its wonders. So come, see for yourself. Nigeria is so much more than the headlines. Lagos is a city of dreams where every visit promises a story to tell. Welcome to Lagos, your next unforgettable destination.
So you guys have seen Mexico. So despite this insecurity, Mexico is still on everybody's bucket list. I think it's high time we transformed Nigeria into something beautiful. Lagos especially, with the beautiful Takwa Bay waters, with everything happening in Lagos, we can get to make a better Lagos for each and every one of us. So, I've got some interesting offers for some of you guys. The Invest in Africa Summit offer for each and every one of you guys. Joining us. One of the offers that we're revealing tonight is the Citadel Meadows. A sequel, the third sequel to the Citadel 1.0 phase 1, phase 2, the phase 3 of it. It's going to be 105 units of 2 bedrooms with BQ, 3 bedrooms, and 4 bedroom semi-detached homes, 105 units. We all have the opportunity to key in with as low as 10% equity deposit. Payment will be spread over between 12 months to 18 months. The price differ by the number of months that make up the payment plan. Aside from that, we're also giving you guys some hot deals. You guys have been asking for some of our completed projects. We are bringing BH7 to you guys, finished units that you can pay within the block A and parking immediately at 270 million naira instead of 280 million naira. So you can pay. We have just very few units left and you get to move into your houses. We also have the Vanna Signature Heights. We are offering you guys ready finished units, 2 bedroom apartment for as low as 245 million. Just pay and parking. Very few units there within the next Lekki for sure. Aside from that, we also have ongoing projects. You guys have put a lot of pressure on us. We're going to give you guys a super deal on the Den Heights. The Den Heights today is selling for 2 bedroom apartment for 300 million naira. 2 bedroom apartment with BQ going for 350 million. But we're offering you guys this bumper offer with just 250 million naira only. Spread payment over between 10 to 12 months. Invest in Africa Summit offer. You get to buy that house for 250 million naira. 2 bedroom apartment without BQ. You also get the opportunity to buy 2 bedroom with BQ for 300 million naira. That's the price we sold those houses when we started. You also get the opportunity to buy 3 bedroom with BQ for 400 million. And now selling for 430 million naira. I don't know what you're waiting for. Just get in the chat room, chat with members of my team, or send us a DM. We're just one call away. See, don't say I didn't tell you. This is your golden chance to own that property that you have been aspiring to have. Some of those who believed so much that property investment was not going to be safe in Nigeria, most of them are regretting their actions. A lot has changed. I know one of my big brothers, he wanted to buy houses. He keyed in to buy 2 houses. He got an offer for 200 million from Heights 7, and he got an offer for 103 million for Citadel Oasis. No, for Citadel Oasis. His Citadel Oasis house has been delivered. But midway, he said, no. I think something is going to happen in Nigeria, so I don't want this house anymore. So he gave me back the Citadel Oasis. He gave me back the Brom Heights 7. Today, the man is regretting it. There's a man who bought 5 apartments. He bought those 5 apartments at 58 million naira each. And midway just said, no, you know what? They said Nigeria is unstable. Nigeria is this, Nigeria is that. I said, no problem. How many do you want to pay for? He said, let me continue paying for 2 only. So just imagine, that man would have made an additional 60 million naira per unit. We lost that opportunity. So, the question I'll be asking you is, would you still be one of those who listen to us at the 2026 edition of the Invest in Africa Summit and decided to stay on the fence? Or will you be one of those who will be counting the increase in your investment due to the wise decision that you make investing in the Invest in Africa Summit? It's been an amazing time being with you guys. This is what I love doing. I love talking real estate. And the opportunities that are inherent in Nigeria, they are not in any part of the world. For some people, they have said, no, I'd rather keep my money in interest yielding account. But like I always say, if everybody decides to keep their money in interest yielding account, what will happen to the real sector? Your brothers, your sisters, who's going to employ them? I think you should answer that question. And so, all of the concerns that you guys have had, I will always say this. Investors should stop asking, what is the price for the house? The questions they should start asking should be, who is building the house? Who is building the projects? What is their track record? What have they delivered? The man who told you he's going to build you a mega city, has he delivered a 12-unit estate? I'm sure that you have the answers to those questions. So, I think without wasting much of your time, we've had an amazing time at the Invest in Africa Summit UK 2026. And sincerely speaking, I look forward to seeing you guys at the next Invest in Africa Summit. Today, a lot has improved in Nigerian real estate. Technology has enabled us that somebody will not tell you that he's building, and you'll not be able to see those houses. Today, you can do virtual tour of those projects. Today, you can send families to there to go and view those projects. Today, you can set up cameras in the houses. You can set up links to be able to view those houses. A lot has transformed, and a lot will continue to transform. So I look forward to answering some of your questions. I'm still open on my DM. If you want to connect with me directly, sincerely speaking, I'm just one DM away. And if you believe strongly that you must talk to me before you take a decision on the property to buy, please send a message to 070-842-09626. I'll be on that line for the next few days, waiting to get your messages, waiting to have a direct conversation with you about your investment. If you have worries, if you have fears, we're going to have conversation about it. And sincerely speaking, I look forward to selling you your next home by the special grace of the Almighty God. I look forward to seeing you guys sooner